Joining me now in studio is Diane Kuciel, decades-long volunteer and past Chief Barker of Variety Buffalo. It is a pleasure to have you on the show and to learn more about Variety Buffalo. I've heard so many great stories, and I just had to share with Western New York the incredible work Variety Buffalo does.
Well, thanks for having me, Jordan. It's a pleasure to be here today. Unfortunately, our current president, Paul Cambria, wasn't able to be here today, so you're stuck with me.
Well, that is not a problem. It's, like I said, certainly a pleasure to have you, Variety Buffalo, on the show, for you to represent them here today. What is Variety Buffalo?
Okay, Variety Buffalo is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to enrich, uplift, and help disadvantaged children, children with illnesses or disabilities.
Okay, and when was Variety Buffalo started?
Variety Buffalo was started in 1934. We were the 7th chapter of Variety. Variety actually started in Pittsburgh in 1927 by a group of showmen at the Sheridan Theater. A child was abandoned there, a little girl was abandoned there, and these 11 showmen adopted the child.
They adopted her.
They adopted her. They named her Catherine Variety Sheridan. And as a result, the word got out about this organization that was helping children. And Variety Buffalo was the 7th chapter. So we've been around for a long time, 87 years, I believe it is. And we're going to talk more about the telethon being
absolutely.
The 60th year, but we'll get more into that, I'm sure.
Yes. Now, what local children's charities does Variety Buffalo support?
Okay. The majority of the funding that we raise goes to the Oshai Children's Hospital, okay? And then the other, we have 20% of what we raise throughout the year goes to other local children's charities, including Boys and Girls Clubs, Born Hava, Camp Good Days, Excalibur,
so
Big
all
Brothers
these key
and
organizations
Sisters.
for our children here in Western New York, Variety Buffalo is able to fundraise and give to those organizations.
Exactly.
It is just a powerful way to do it. And I love that, like you said, Paul isn't able to be here today because he's working, and you guys are so dedicated to the mission of Variety Buffalo, but it just shows how dedicated you are, and I truly appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now, how long have you personally been involved?
I've personally been involved since 1981. A coworker of mine knew my love of children. Okay, and she says, oh, you're a perfect candidate to join the Variety Club. And I go, well, what is it? And she's explaining to me, you'd raise funds, but there's a lot of socialization that's involved. So, as I said, I joined in 81, this is 2021, how many years is that? And it really is a lot more. When I first joined, I thought it was going to be strictly hands-on with the kids, but we do some hands-on with the kids with our Variety at Work program, but the majority of it is fundraising. And the people that you meet and you get to know and work with and for, they're wonderful. Everybody's so compassionate and caring. Women, men, kids helping kids.
Kids helping kids.
Yeah.
Well, it is so wonderful to hear, and like you mentioned, you started with, you thought it was just going to be helping kids, but then you quickly realized it was more. But what I really like is you didn't jump ship. You kept going, Diane, and that is wonderful. Now, when you talk about Variety Buffalo, I can tell you're very passionate about it. Why is it? Why is that?
Well, like I said, it's the kids. I personally, my nephew was diagnosed in the 80s with leukemia. He spent 6 years in and out at the former Children's Hospital on Bryan Street. So I saw firsthand, I used to take my lunch hours, at the time I was working at Blue Cross and Blue Shield, I would take my lunch hours and I would take food over for the whole floor. And they'd look for Aunt Dee and say, oh, there she is. And I felt like I was the Pied Piper, you know, with the kids on the 8th floor, I believe it was, at Children's Hospital on Bryan Street. But there's so many dedicated volunteers. I mean, there are people that have been around a lot longer than I have. Rose DePaula, Carol McMahon, Richard Goldstein is our executive director. He actually started as a member of Variety. Sam Geekus, who owned King's Court, he's been around a long time. They've been around longer than
you,
but I have been, and they're still involved, very much so.
Thank you so much. Now, with their work, Variety Western New York has several ongoing programs to benefit children in Western New York. Can you tell me more about the programs?
Well, we have a hockey program. It's inner city children.
Okay.
I believe Darius Pridgeon
Oh,
you know,
okay.
came to us and had told us that he had some kids, they were interested. It was formerly the Boys and Girls Club that the kids were, but the kids go every Saturday. They go by bus. We have volunteer coaches. That's a lot of fun. Our Variety at Work program, what we do, that's the hands-on portion. Well, unfortunately, 2020 we weren't able to do it, but we usually take a couple of hundred kids and their families to the Bison's night at
The Bison's night.
Bison night for Variety.
Wow.
That's a lot of fun, and we're hoping we can do it back again in 2022.
Well, that would be excellent to see.
We have hands-on. We have a picnic at our club rooms, or not a picnic, a Christmas party at our club rooms for Compeer for the kids and their families. We have the Born Have a picnic every year that some of our Variety women go to and help out.
Okay, so there's definitely some great programs and places that Variety is helping out throughout the year.
Right.
Now, we mentioned this earlier, but with the Variety Club's Annual Variety Kids Telethon being the longest running locally produced telethon in the nation, what does that mean to your organization?
All of our volunteers have been working since 1962, well, probably 1961. Dr. Warner first came to us in 1961. Our first telethon was held in 1962. So this, in 2022, will be our 60th, and we're really looking forward to it, bringing back some of our past celebrity kids from the past 60 years that are now have grandchildren of their own. But you know, there's a misconception that all of the money that Variety raises is done at the telethon. We raise money throughout the whole year.
Okay.
We're raising money. People are sending in donations, memorials, unfortunately, but you know, they do remember Variety. A lot of people remember Variety in their wills or send in donations because their loved ones were either involved or thought highly of the Variety Club.
The core function of Variety Club is to fundraise.
Correct.
And not only are you doing it on the telethon, but all year long.
All year round.
That is so powerful. Now, with the telethon, it seems like you've had a few. Do you have any favorite telethon memories?
I'm going to think that my first telethon was in 82 or 83 in the 80s. We had people like Michael Landon, the Lander sisters.
Oh, wow.
We had Rip Thorne there. Burt Reynolds. Can't forget Burt Reynolds. I rember telling the judge about Burt Reynolds how my knees don't buckle very often, but when he took my hands into his, my knees buckled.
I love
anyway,
it. Love it.
There's a lot of memories, but I think the most important memories we have are the different children. Each year we pick a celebrity child, and they become part of the Variety family. We've had so many wonderful kids. We've had Kelly Morris and Laura Slack, and I mean from all different areas of Western New York they come from. Niagara Falls, Middleport, Lockport, the South Towns. The Smith boys came, Ashton came from Salamanca. Okay, I mean, we have kids that come, and this year we have a new child, a new celebrity child, and I just found out, I haven't met him yet. His name is Giovanni Fiore, I believe that's how it's pronounced. He's 5 years old. He's from the town of Tonawanda. I can't wait to meet him. I heard he's a Spitfire.
Well, that's excellent. And we'll be able to meet him later on in 2022.
2022, right. But there's a lot of, we're planning on having a gala for our 60th, the Friday prior to the telethon. It would be March 4th.
That actually leads right into my next question. What other events do you have throughout the year to fundraise and give back, you know, leading up to the telethon?
Well, as I mentioned, we have the cruise nights. We have a polka, drive-through polka Polish dinner. That was fun. We barbecue chicken dinner.
Ooh, love that, yeah.
We've
Some
had...
chevettas, I hope?
Pardon?
Some chevettas, I hope?
No, not chevettas. Wait a minute, maybe it was chevettas.
One of those great chickens.
It was chevettas this year. It was chevettas this year. I take that back, and I do love chevettas, by the way. But we also have the Variety Women, which is an auxiliary, an extension of the Variety Club. Okay, without the Variety Women, we probably wouldn't have a Variety Club because they're right there to help with everything.
They are the core almost of the Variety Club.
They just had a holiday tea that had like 250 people at it. It was so good to be out there and see the people again, you know. And then we have a cocktail party coming up
Okay.
The women will have their cocktail party. We're hoping to do a Polish night with a Polish dance. We had one a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Terry Buchwald has been a big supporter of variety.
That's exciting.
He's had different concerts for us at the club rooms.
Okay.
So.
And all of the events that you guys do throughout the year are online at varietybuffalo.org, right?
It's varietybuffalo.org.
Perfect.
You can reach your viewers should look at the website because
sure to
there's a
look at
lot of information about variety, how to become a member,
Perfect.
How to donate. Most important,
Yeah.
how to donate, how to get involved with being a volunteer. Even if you don't have the time to become a member, you may want to become a volunteer for some of our events, specifically the telethon. Want to be a phone operator?
Right.
You would either go to our website. There's an email address on there.
Yeah.
Or you can dial 716-854-7577 and let them know. Either Jessica, our development director, Jessica Rich, or Sally works in our office. They'll take the information and pass it on to the chairman for the telephones.
Perfect. And now with mentioning the telethon, what is the telethon like for those that may have not seen one in a while?
The telethon combines all different people from all different walks of life, okay? There's entertainment. There is a group of people from, as I said, all walks of life. You have your corporations that come on, you have your volunteers, you have the unions that are very big, you have the schools, the kids that are coming in that might have raised money if they were able to, hopefully this year in their
So
classroom.
you kind of see like a melting pot.
Oh, melting pot.
But the community coming together for our children.
Correct.
And it seemed like you got almost a little emotional there because you do understand that when we come together as a community, we're able to do powerful things.
Absolutely.
And you've seen it firsthand.
Absolutely.
Now, we talked about the Variety Banquet Hall earlier this morning. Now, where is that located and who can use it and how do they go about that?
Okay. We were formerly on Delaware Avenue, and I'm going to guess maybe about 8 years ago, I don't know exactly, I don't remember exactly, when we moved out to Lancaster. We're at 6114 Broadway. We bought this building. It was the former Knights of Columbus, specifically because it had a banquet hall.
Okay.
And we knew we would, instead of us going out to have a lot of our events, we were able to do a lot of our events.
Do it inside.
Do it inside. And not only did that help us save some money from going out to have these events, but we were able to rent it.
Okay.
Okay, people have rented it for showers, for train shows, for birthday parties, all sorts of events can be held there. We have two halls. One is in the front, and that holds approximately 50 people. The hall in the back, which is being remodeled as we speak here, that will hold up to 250 people, I believe.
Okay.
Now, we were limited in 2020, needless to say, even with the telethon. Last year's telethon wasn't the telethon that people had known where you could just stop in and drop money in the fishbowl. We were limited. We had to make sure that we were, I believe it was 50 people we were limited to.
Okay.
So what happened at last year's telethon was we made sure that people had their scheduled time, and we had to bring them in, escort them in, and escort them out. And we did have a bank of phone operators there taking donations over the phone.
Wonderful.
But the credit card phones, where people were able to call in, we have wonderful credit card promotions. If you make a pledge by credit card, you're going to get some promotional items, and they're great depending on what level you're at. But thanks to our friends from the unions, CWA, and I believe it was Region 9, UAW Hall, we were able to put some operators out at their locations,
as well.
And that was a big help.
To help you. So they were able to put some people at their locations to help you as well.
And we had phones set up there to take the donations, the credit card donations.
Wow.
So.
Well, what's the best way to help Variety Buffalo?
Donate.
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 Simple
But we're always looking for new members, and we're also looking for volunteers. So as I said, you can volunteer by calling 716-854-7577 for the telethon. I would suggest that you don't call for the telethon until after January, because you don't want to get lost in the shuffle. But if you're interested in joining, call now. We'll send you an application.
Awesome.
As I said, we have the Variety Club, which is comprised of men and women, or we have the Variety Club Women, which there are a couple of men that belong to it, but they are the auxiliary of the Variety Club.
Awesome.
So.
After this quick break, I'll catch you up on all of the good events and news happening here in Western New York in my segment, Jordan's Good Events and News. Then we'll continue our conversation with Variety Buffalo. Stay tuned.